welcome to my channel. I am super excited to start this channel to basically talk books with you guys. A little background about me is that I am an indie author and I publish my books on Amazon, and they are also available to read on Kindle Unlimited. So if you're interested in checking any of those out, you can find them either linked in my Instagram, or if you just search my name, you can find them. But in addition to maybe in the future talking about my own books that I'm publishing, if that's something that you guys are interested in learning a little bit more about, we can kind of dive into that. What I really want to focus on is just kind of talking about the books that I read just like in my day to day, because I love to read, obviously. And I thought it would be really fun to just make some videos about the books that I'm reading. And, in the future, if we want to do like Q&As, or if you would like to hear about the books that I've already written, or have questions or interested to learn more about the books that I'm going to be writing or I'm in the process of writing. Basically, a whole bunch of things can come from this, but I really just do want to focus on talking about books. So, on that note, when I say that I want to talk about books, I want to talk about books that I like. So, I am in full support of people having strong opinions about books and not liking books, and even talking about those opinions. Totally fine with that. However, I don't feel super comfortable talking about books that I don't like, or talking bad about books, anything like that, just because I am an author and I know how hard negative feedback or criticism can be as an author. And I also know that just because I don't like a book doesn't mean that the book is bad, if that makes sense. So I kind of just want to steer away from that and just keep all of the conversations about the books that I'm going to talk about very positive, and a place where you can come and we're just going to sit down and talk about books that I like. And if you have also read the books and you want to talk about it in the comments, I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on them. And if you have book recommendations for me to read in the future, I would also love that, especially based on if you kind of like learn about my reading preferences as we go through all of this and you have good recommendations. But yeah, so that's basically kind of what this YouTube channel is going to look like. And if you do want more information about me as an author, that's definitely going to be on my Instagram, where I'm going to have the most information about all of my books and things like that. So, yeah, I guess with all of that out of the way, we can talk about the first book, which is The Ex-Hex by Erin Sterling. I know that this was super popular, like on Book Talk and Instagram and everything, like last fall-ish, which is also when I read it, but I thought this would be a good first book to talk about, even though I technically didn't read it in 2023, which is also how I want to kind of structure the books that I'm going to talk about is on my Goodreads account. I am trying to like log the books that I read for this year, and then ideally talk about those books on here, as long as I really like them enough to talk about them. But I wanted to talk about this book because I absolutely love witchy rom-coms. Like, that is one of my top favorite like subgenres of romance, is witchy rom-coms. And so if there is any sort of witchy vibes, I'm gonna pick up the book. I have like probably 6 other witchy rom-com books that I have just bought and haven't even read yet, just because like that's an instant buy for me. um so I thought it would be fun to start with this one. um I'm gonna read you the back of the book so that I can kind of set the mood if you haven't heard of the X Hex before, and then I will get a little bit more into talking about my own opinions and stuff. I took little notes that I'm gonna tell you about in a second, but just a fair warning, I'm not gonna give huge spoilers, but I am gonna talk about the book. So I'm gonna talk about things that happen in the book. So if you are somebody who wants absolutely no spoilers, maybe just read the book if it sounds interesting to you, and then come back and watch this video. If you like to know a little bit more than just like the back of the book before you start reading something, then this video will definitely be for you. So I'm gonna read the back first, and then I'll give you kind of like my overall thoughts about it, and then we'll go from there. So the very first line on it, I love. It says, "Never mix vodka with witchcraft." Cute. I love it. So 9 years ago, Vivian Jones nursed her broken heart like any young witch would. Vodka, weepy music, bubble baths, and a curse on the horrible boyfriend. Sure, Vivi knows she shouldn't use her magic this way, but with only an orchard hayride scented candle on hand, she isn't worried it will cause him anything more than a bad hair day or two. That is until Rise Penhallow, descendant of the town's ancestors, breaker of hearts, and annoyingly just as gorgeous as he always was, returns to Graves Glen, Georgia. What should be a quick trip to recharge the town's ley lines and make an appearance at the annual fall fair turns disastrously wrong. With one calamity after another striking Rise, Vivi realizes her silly little ex-hex may not have been so harmless after all. Suddenly, Graves Glen is under attack from murderous, wind-up toys, a pissed-off ghost, and a talking cat with some interesting things to say. Vivi and Rise have to ignore their off-the-charts chemistry to work together to save the town and find a way to break the breakup curse before it's too late. So, usually I feel like book blurbs don't really set the whole scene of like what to expect in the book, which can be good, can be bad, because like sometimes I'll pick up a book and I'll read the blurb, and then when I read the actual book, I'm like, whoa, this is not all what I thought this book was going to be about. That is not the case with this book. I think that the blurb on the back is honestly like a perfect overall description of like what you're going to get in this book. That being said, I really enjoyed the book. However, there are a few, I guess, expectations to go into reading this book if you want to enjoy it. The first one is that I would say that this book is kind of like a Hallmark movie, right? Like it's kind of cheesy, but it's really cute. There's romance, is there super depth to the story and the characters? No. But is it super fun to read? Yes. If you have watched the TV show The Good Witch, I think it's a Hallmark TV show. I might be wrong, but it's called The Good Witch. If you have seen that, this book gave me the Good Witch vibes. It was very much like small town, like kind of magic-y stuff is happening, romance, cheesy, heartwarming, cute, all of those vibes. That's what this book is. It's also fairly quick to get through. Let's see. Yeah, it's 308 pages is all. So I definitely finished this book like in an afternoon. So if you want just kind of like a short Fun, easy read, like nothing heavy to think about, something to like do for fun. Definitely recommend this. Um, so all of that being said, the tropes that I think are the most prevalent in this book are obviously it's a rom-com. It's very lighthearted, fun. It's a second chance romance. So lightly. uh Vivi and Rise dated like 9 years prior to when all of this is happening. And it was like a super short, quick romance. It wasn't anything crazy. They just like dated. It might even have been for like just a couple of months. I don't know. I can't remember. But anyway, it was like a very short stint of them dating and being together. And then she made this curse. Like, I think, let me double check. Okay. So yeah, so she makes this curse. It says 9 hours and 36 minutes that they had broken up when she makes this curse. And then she makes the curse, nothing happens, and then there's a 9-year time gap in between when she made the curse and she and Rise broke up, and then like the story actually starts to take place. So it is technically second chance, but on like a very small scale. And then obviously there's witches and magic in it, but all very lighthearted throughout the book. So like I said, the characters super cute. I didn't like fall in love with Rise as a book boyfriend, but his character was cute and funny, and his kind of storyline is that he doesn't feel like he is like really part of his family, because it's like a family of very strong like male witches, and it's him, his dad, and then his brother, his older brother, Wells, I think is his name. Book 2 is his story, and I bought it. Like I said, if it has witches, I'm gonna buy it. So I already bought the book. I'm planning on reading that one soon. So it's Rise, his older brother Wells, and then his dad. And his dad is like super old school about being a witch, and he's like has very old school values, and Wells is like kind of in the middle, like he wants to please his dad and like do all of that, but he's not quite as old school. And then Rise is kind of like the like wild child. He doesn't like to do all of like the old school magic stuff that his dad likes, and he's been like traveling around the world and just kind of being like that typical little brother who is like doing his own thing, right? So that's like a big part of his life. And then in Vivi's life, she's still in Graves Glen, and she lives with her cousin. Maybe they don't live together. I don't know. They're super close. Her cousin Gwen is a big part of the story as well. And I think it's Gwen and Wells in the second book. I don't know where the second book is. I have it, but I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's who the second book is about. And then they also live with their Aunt Elaine. And what's really cute is that Vivi is a college professor at the college in their town, which is kind of like Harry Potter vibes, I guess, because half of the college is for like normal, non-witchy people, and then there's another part of the college that is for witches, which is cute. So like they have like the two sides, and like the non-witchy people don't know about the witches and stuff. So that's cute. So she teaches at that college, and then Gwen, the cousin, and the Aunt Elaine own a witchy store that's called Something Wicked, which is super cute. And again, like if you have seen the Good Witch TV show, it's like Bell Book and Candle. So it's really cute. They have like their little witchy store and stuff. And I think Gwen and Elaine both work there. At least they do. Maybe they have other jobs in addition, but they definitely both work there. So that's kind of like both of their backstories. So then what happens is, like the back of the book says, that Rise ends up going back to Graves Glen because he has to strengthen the ley lines, which basically it's like every so many years one of the Penhowl men have to go and strengthen the ley lines with their powers, and then that's like what keeps their bloodline magical or whatever. And his dad tells him like it's his turn to like grow up and like be a part of the family, and so he like gives him the job, like his very first time ever, to like strengthen the ley lines by himself. So that's what gets Rise back to Graves Glen, since Vivi put the hex on him. So he like the second he gets to Graves Glen, a bunch of bad things start to happen to him. And so he's just thinking like maybe he has like really bad luck or whatever, and stuff happens in between, and he and Vivi run into each other again, and they kind of like talk, and then he's telling her about like all the bad things that's happened to him, and then she starts to think like, oh my gosh, what if like that hex I put on him a bunch of years ago like is actually coming true, and I'm the reason that he's having all of this bad luck. So then she decides like she wants to help him because she kind of feels guilty for like hexing him. And then obviously there's like some tension there, and they're like kind of interested in each other, all that stuff. So they go together to charge the ley lines, hoping that maybe his like magic is going kind of crazy because the ley lines need to be charged. So she's like guilty, and she's like, okay, I'm gonna go with him and help him. Hopefully I don't have to tell him that I think it's like me, blah 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 blah. So they get to the ley lines and he charges them, and something that's really cute and funny is that the ley lines are like charged with like pleasure energy, I guess. So it kind of like creates like this sexual tension between them, and then that's kind of like what starts to like jumpstart their interest in each other again. So it's really funny. But obviously that charging the ley lines doesn't help them. So then they have to figure out how to break the curse, and so they keep going like together to try and figure out the curse, and they spend all this time together, and like bad things happen, and it brings them closer together, and then eventually they have to like work together to break the curse, right? And so that's kind of like the big picture of the book. So if that sounds like something you would like reading, then I definitely recommend it. If you have read it, honorable mention to the closet scene in that abandoned house. If you know, you know. But like all of the romance and like, I don't want to call it spice because the book is like very spice light. It's not like, it's not no spice, but it's just a very little bit. But the scene in the closet was probably like one of my favorite spice-ish scenes, romancy scenes in the book. Um, so on that note, I would say that this book is definitely more heavy on like the rom-com adventure-y, like trying to break the curse and having like the cute little romance aspect to it rather than it being super spicy. Like I would say this book is maybe like 10% spicy and then 90% story and like romance that doesn't involve spice. If that makes any if that makes any sense at all. Um but I really like books like that. I am not the biggest like spicy book reader. I will definitely read spicy books, but a book not having spice in it doesn't make me like it less, if that makes sense. So, yes, all of that being said, that's how I feel about this book. I'm also not going to rate any of the books that I read, going along like that same line of wanting to respect authors and all of the hard work that they have put into their books. So I'm not going to rate it. I'm just going to tell you that I did enjoy it. And if you end up reading this book or you have read this book, please comment your thoughts and everything down below so that way we can talk about it and I can see what your thoughts were and if my opinions lined up with yours or what you thought. So yeah, I think as of now, I'm gonna try and post once a week a new book. If I read a book and then I get really, really excited about it and I want to post it, I might post an extra video here or there, but most likely it'll be once a week. That way it gives me time to read new books and film videos about them. But anyway, I hope that you liked this video. It was super fun for me to be able to talk about books like this. So I really enjoyed it and I hope you enjoy it, and I cannot wait to talk with you about the next book. And yeah, so definitely make sure to leave me your thoughts below. If you like the video, like it, subscribe to my channel, and if you want like life updates from me and author content from me, definitely make sure to follow my Instagram. I'll link it in my bio. I also post the occasional TikTok about my books. So if you want to follow me on any of that other social media, definitely feel free, and I will talk to you guys next time.